Hey guys, so it has been a hot minute, and I actually filmed the video where I think I'm going to say similar things to this, but hopefully when I go through all of the stuff that I've taken pictures of and filmed, I'll be able to find that video and I'll be able to pull it out and you don't have to hear this twice. If it is somewhat similar, it won't be as updated, so if you want to sit through it, you can. If you don't want to, I completely understand. Today is June 7th. It is the 7th. We are officially 28 days from closing on our new house. We've been at my mom's for, well, the animals have been here since the 29th. The children have been here since the 29th. And I guess technically so have my wife and I, except that we were still moving out until the day we signed papers. We signed papers on the 31st, which some of you know, most of you probably know. We signed papers on the 31st and we sold our house. Our house is gone. We are no longer in any way, shape, or anything connected to Chalmette, which is St. Bernard Parish, which is right up against Orleans Parish, and about 5 minutes from like New Orleans. Literally, if you left my house within 10 minutes, you could be in the French Quarter, which is one of the more popular tourist attractions of New Orleans. It's kind of weird. I was born in New Orleans and raised in Chalmette literally my entire life. I lived in the same house. So I lived there until I was 25. And Chalmette's like a place where everybody just stays real, they're very tight knit, everybody knows each other, and nobody really leaves Chalmette. It's a Chalmette centric world. We had like a little shopping center down the road, and we had but it's kind of weird because unlike other isolated towns, it is connected to New Orleans. Like, it's literally right there. So we had bars open all night long, like 24/7 bars, and you had the nightlife of New Orleans kind of seep in, a lot of the flavor, so it's really strange to be just an hour and a half to 2 hours away and have such a different culture constantly. Now, we right before Katrina hit, I had bought a home like right outside, like maybe 2 minutes from my grandma and about 5 minutes from my mama, and my aunt and my sister both lived around the corner from my mom. Like, everybody was right next to each other. My mom has lived in this area, which is Tangipahoa Parish. I might have said that wrong because I'm not from the North Shore. I'm not from this area, but Tangipahoa Parish is where my mom has lived since Katrina hit, September 05. We lived in Mississippi for about a month and a half to 2 months. We lived in Baton Rouge for about 4 or 5 months. And then my mom and dad bought this house. And if you've ever heard me talk about like my mom's house, my dad's house, that's because my mom and dad bought this house, but they still had their house in Chalmette. And my dad basically lived there and rebuilt it. Everything was gone. It was completely gutted. The water was over the rooftops at one point and then kind of settled in around about a foot and a half into the attic. So everything was gone. My dad rebuilt that house bit by bit. He actually sold that house. It's the house I grew up in. That when I bought my house in Chalmette, the house that we just sold, that you all know and love. You don't love it. I loved it, but that house was actually you cross the street, walk across a field, walk across the street, and then you walk 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 houses down. That's where my daddy lived. So I was like right down the street from him. Anyway, so he sold that house in April, and then he sold that house, I think it was April 29th, they closed, and we sold ours 1 month later. That's done. We moved in here because we don't close on our house until the 5th of July. So here we are. We've been hanging out. I am blessed by God. The animals are doing so well. We have a room. There's a cat room where the kids sleep, and there's a dog room where my wife and I and Poppy, the cat, sleeps, and Poppy has been in love. I have some pictures you're gonna see. But it's hot as Hades up here. It's kind of weird because it's like they're colder in the winter and hotter in the summer, which is crazy. Our house that we're buying is not in Tangipahoa Parish, but it's about 25 minutes from my mom's house, which is kind of neat because before it was about we lived once she moved here and we went back to Chalmette after the storm. We were an hour and a half from my mom's. So yeah, and it was a pretty intense drive. It's all back streets and like little country highways, and we can get there. So that's really neat. That's where we're at. I actually made jewelry, just two simple, very, very simple pieces for the first time since September because I haven't had any time to do that. But I do have my box here. There. Not gonna stay there. But I do have my box here and my jewelry is being made. I'm hoping to amp that up once we move into our house. Can't wait to paint again. I'm taking out the sketchbook today and some drawing. I am getting my eating under control. It's been bananas because of all the not really grocery shopping, not really living anywhere, spending a week on the road, moving back and forth, whatever. But I'm wearing my Fitbit, who finally sunk to my phone, which means that I can actually track that now. Like, what's the point if I can't track it? The point is to be healthy, but that doesn't motivate me. I mean, it does, but like numbers and stickers and fun stuff, that's much more motivating to the 5-year-old brain. Anyway, so yeah, I have to go update the group because I haven't done that. I am restarting my plank challenge soon. I'm feeling much more motivated and kind of light and free. There's a little bit of nerves because we have to move into our house. There's going to be expenses and we have to buy a refrigerator and a microwave and there's no dishwasher. It's going to be cute. It's cute. It's little. It's on land. It's going to be fantastic, but I don't know. It's going to be like an adjustment. And I know we have to put in a fence for the dogs, which is an expense. And we're going to have to get a refrigerator, which is an expense. It's just that it's so hard to plan and not know. And it's just nerve wracking. You know what I mean? Just nerve wracking. But I'm trying to let that go. I'm focusing on the good. I'm focusing on the awesome. My mom's garden has been very peaceful and relaxing before the storm, Katrina. My mom and dad had done a lot of gardening in Chalmette, and so they are finally 10 years later. He lives here full time now because the house is gone in Chalmette, so they're actually getting their garden really, really going. It's beautiful. I've been posting pictures about that on Instagram because it's really nice and it's very exciting because they have about 1/3 of an acre and what they're doing with it is just awesome. And at the house that we're going to, we have about 1.5 acres of cleared land. And then we have about altogether the land's a little less, it's 7.78 acres. So we got a chunk of land, but we got about 1.5 acres cleared, and I'm looking really forward to just filling it with plants and flowers and life and art. It's going to be fantastic, and I'm just really looking forward to living in that air and that art space. It's going to be awesome. Chickens again. I miss my chickens. I know you've heard me say that. I miss my chickens. We want a couple little goats. It's going to be fantastic. So that's exciting. Then let's see. Let's just talk real quick about leaving. It's really, really weird. It's so strange because it's really weird to see what becomes your normal, right? Because I moved, so the storm hit in 2005 and I lived with my mom and dad here for a little while, and I worked in New Orleans, in Jefferson Parish, and actually no, I worked in New Orleans right then. So I worked in New Orleans with a doctor's office. That's where I was at, a pediatric office, when the storm hit. After the storm hit, there was a little bit of time there that we still worked in the office where we were we weren't seeing patients. We were like actually clearing the office out and like getting the files together and stuff like that for the doctor that we worked for. Unfortunately, he passed away in November, so that kind of impacted my future. Like I was like, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? And I wound up working. There's a bird's nest in that little house. How awesome. Anyway, I wound up working at this place called Eustace Engineering in Jefferson Parish in a place called Metairie. And that's actually where I worked with my wife. She got me the job. She started in December of '05 and I started in February of '06. So I was driving back and forth from here to there, which is a very long drive. It's about an hour. And then we got an apartment in Jefferson Parish. We spent a year there, and then we moved back to Chalmette. And my wife is actually from Jefferson Parish, so when we moved back to Chalmette, for me, it was kind of crazy because even though, like, easily, okay, 100%, well, I'm gonna go 98.5% of my parish, which, if you're not familiar, a parish is the same as a county. In Louisiana, we call them parishes. So 98.5% of my parish was completely like decimated, like everything was gone. So then in the years after the storm, like people were deciding to either keep the shell of their house and try to rebuild, completely destroy and rebuild completely, like just all kinds of stuff. So basically over like from 2005 to like 2008, it was actually a lot of destruction going on because when the water came in, the things that it didn't like mow down, like the force of the levee breaking, like just destroyed, like leveled some areas. But after that initial force, it just kind of flooded. And then we here, like not here, there in New Orleans, are kind of shaped like a bowl and you have like the levee. So it held water. And so the water just sat there and everything, you know, under the water basically melted, like your drywall and your roof and like your ceilings just melted, but your roof and your bricks kind of stayed there and mildewed. So it's kind of weird, but it was years of just tearing out and tearing down, and there was this like smell of mildew everywhere as people were like building these mountains of mush stuff that was used to be all their stuff in their house. It was weird. Anyway, so when we moved there, it was kind of strange because even though it was so different and so, I guess, sad looking to most people, there is something about knowing where you're at. Like your whole entire life, you live there. And so like you walk the streets and you just know, like it was weird. It was like, even though all the things I'm used to seeing are not here, I feel more peaceful and at home because I know where I'm at. I woke up today and I knew where I was at. And in some way, it's like a connection to your past. I don't know how to explain it really, but at first, that was kind of shocking to the senses or something, but then it just becomes your normal. So then over the last, like from 2009 till now, they've built stuff up. It's insane how much has built up. It's crazy how many neighbors we have. Like when we moved onto our house, there were probably like 5 houses on our block that were full, and now they're like all full. And you know, on the other streets, like the streets right around us, were probably 10% occupied, and now they're probably 90%. It's a totally different situation. All the stores have come back, new stores have come in. It's crazy. So that is, you know, where we live. When I told you we would be like 10 minutes from New Orleans, we were like maybe 3 minutes from New Orleans East. New Orleans East has several horrific neighborhoods. I don't know if you follow the news. I don't know if it's national news how bad New Orleans has gotten, or if it's just local because it's local. But like, we always had like very low crime in Chalmette, but you were starting to get more carjackings. There was a ton more drugs and more thefts and stuff like that, but you were starting to get more violent crimes. And they always associated that with like it coming in off the highways. There's only like 3 ways in and out of St. Bernard Parish. So they started to associate that with New Orleans East, and it was just getting worse and worse. And New Orleans is getting crazy. And to go anywhere from Chalmette, you had to go through New Orleans, and that's just getting harder and harder to to comprehend. And my wife was out of town, so it was just me and the girls, and it was just kind of a scary situation. So anyway, when we got here, it was like at some point I expected the move to hit me in a we're not home anymore way. And I said just the other day, well, immediately I felt relief, because it was like we are away from that crime that's creeping higher and higher, and for that murder rate. If you read anything, every single day, every couple of days, they're releasing New Orleans experiences 48 hours of violent crime, and it's 7 people killed, and 28 assaults and rapes, and this many armed robberies, and this many carjackings. And it's insane to think of that as being 36 to 48 hours. So, and being literally 3 to 5 minutes from you, that's a crazy thought. And I know people live that way, and I have friends who live in New Orleans East, and it's I don't know. I guess because I used to not think of it as much once I had the kids, man, it's I don't know. So it was one of those articles that popped up the very first day I actually sat down. It was we're done moving, I'm waiting for it to hit. One of those popped up, and it was just nothing but relief knowing that we weren't there. And then a friend of mine posted what's going on? There's cops creeping through my neighborhood. They're in the alleys. They're going really slow down the streets. And apparently it was some kind of drug bust that was pretty big for my parish, and just stuff like that. And there was just this relief, this honest to God relief, because all I could think when I was raising my kids was Chalmette is such a little place, and you have to work outside of it. You build your life outside of it. My wife was before she got the job that made her stay with my mom, she was literally looking at a job that would put her right in the heart of the city, where there was a lot murders constantly. And I was I'm so not comfortable with that. And she was oh, if I just drive straight there and go straight into the gate, I should be fine. But that's not true. But I was that makes me so uncomfortable. And the kids are going to grow up, and they're going to be, looking for jobs. And how can I encourage them to go out and live, but not have a safe environment for them to live in? It's just kind of weird. I worked in New Orleans. That's actually where I got robbed as a bank teller, but that happens everywhere. I'm not saying that, but anyway. But I worked in New Orleans, and, and it was just different. I mean, 20 years ago, it was bad, but different. So anyway, so I was sitting here, and I was oh my gosh, it's so weird. And then just this morning, I made the comment, I really thought at some point I would be upset or I would miss it. And, my oldest daughter was yeah, I'm glad we moved. And I was really? Why? Because, they're aware of the crime. You can't live there and not be, but I don't overly talk to them about it. And she was well, because, being here made me realize how destroyed Chalmette still is. And I was thinking about it, and it's that's very, very true. There is still evidence of Katrina all over it. There are still houses that are boarded up instead of redone or destroyed. There's still buildings that are just torn apart. It's just wild. But I hadn't even thought of it, because after going and experiencing the shock of it being so different, watching it develop again, it seemed like it was back, but it's really probably only 45 to 50% back to what it was, which leaves a lot of destruction just sitting around. Anyway, all of that to say we have moved. No, all of that just to talk to you about how I'm processing the move. It's kind of weird, but it's been really good. It's been very positive. It's been pretty interesting. We've been with my parents about a week now, over a week, and it's going very well. So I'm excited to move forward. I can't wait to show y'all the new house. I have a bunch of paint samples picked out. I'm very, very excited about painting. My other house stayed I loved the house. Like I liked the driveway and I liked the walkway because it was a curve, not a straight line. I liked the location because of the school districts we were in, because at the time we were not homeschooling. I like the fact that it was close to my dad and a park and all that kind of stuff. So that was all great. But another thing that I liked about the house that we bought in Chalmette was that after looking at all of these houses that were beige, 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 this house we walk into and it was basically the green equivalent of beige. But after you look at beige so much, green, even if it's beige's best friend green, it makes you feel like there's something different going on. So I really, really was like, woohoo! And it stayed that color for years. And then we finally started painting it, and I was always scared of messing up and doing this wrong and doing that wrong. But I'm not scared of that anymore. So I'm like, bang, we're gonna paint. And if I don't like the color, we'll paint it again, because that's just what we're doing. We're just gonna art the hell out of our space. It's going to be just a place where we are really living instead of where we're just existing while we're trying to like figure out our life. It's going to be really nice. I'm really excited. So I'm going to have a collection of things I'm going to put at the beginning and at the end. I don't know. Here are all the pictures. Here are all the videos. Here's all the stuff that happened while we were moving that I happen to still have on my phone or computer. It's Friday and we are moving. It's like officially move day number 1. I know I've been talking about it forever, but we're here. Our realtor has a moving van. You get to move. She's like, roll with me and use this van for free. So we are here at the house. That's not going to be ours anymore. About to pack that van up. Oh my gosh. Inside, I went grocery shopping, but it's all like real, what's it called? Like camping grocery shopping and stuff. Hey, babe. I'm talking to the vlog.
Oh.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Oh my god. Hey, who do you live with?
My wife.
Oh, we live together for the first time in years. Well, not years, but it actually kind of has been, because even when she was working the last couple of jobs, probably for like 3 years. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It's basically been like she worked offshore or something. Like she'd come home now and again, but she'd be gone forever and ever and whatever. So as of yesterday, we live together because we're gonna move, and then we'll be waking up together every day. Every day. That's cool. Paisley. Why you barking, baby? Why you barking? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of went like grocery shopping, like camping, to make it really easy, like cereal and stuff. There's some cooking that's going to be done, not too much. I will tell you all about it. I had a smoothie and some coffee, and I'm gonna go pack more. Hey, what you hiding? We're at the gas station and we're waiting to drive back up because we're finally moved, and he's trying to hide something. It's Pei, it's Wiley, and it's Puppy. It's Thursday. It's June 2nd. We sign our paperwork in the new house on July 5th. So that's kind of cool. It's been really nice to be here with my mom. I mean, we haven't really gotten to spend that much time together over the last 10 years. I mean, it's been kind of weird. And then also the last couple of years have been dealing with my brother and his addiction. So anytime the family was together, even though that wasn't being addressed, there was a lot of tension and weirdness and sadness. So it's kind of neat. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but my brother went to rehab and has been in recovery. He is living in a sober living house, going on like 4 months now and doing really well, supposedly. And I'm not trying to be negative. What I'm saying is, like, it's hard to know because when an addict has told you that they're clean so many times, but this time is different. He is doing it on his own, about 5 hours away. So that's good. It's kind of like this cloud is lifting. We are out of Chalmette, which is literally like New Orleans' little sister. It's a safe neighborhood. It's a safe area, but it is moments from New Orleans, and there was a lot of crime starting to come in right at the borders, like, because you have to go through New Orleans to get out of Chalmette, St. Bernard Parish. So there was a lot of crime starting to come in from there. I was actually pretty excited to be out for the summertime because it seems like the school breaks in the summertime, it gets pretty wild. In fact, yesterday I was watching on Facebook while somebody was talking about, like, the cops traipsing through their yard because of drug busts and stuff. It was just weird. So it's been a strange situation. It's like you feel grateful for where you're at, and there's reasons I'm glad, but then you miss your friends. But we're going down there tomorrow for a library thing, so that's fun. Anyway, so today is officially my first day. Yesterday I didn't eat too poorly, but I really didn't eat that great. But today is officially my first day recommitting because I went to the grocery store yesterday. I have a lot of stuff to stay focused, and I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm going to set up my calendar, which I have a June calendar for the Facebook group. This is the last month to earn any kind of entries into the giveaway. I am going to set up my personal calendar, and I'll talk to you guys about that. And then I'm going to get going. I'm pretty, most of my jewelry stuff is packed, but I think I'm going to go to this place called the Turquoise Coyote. It's about 20 minutes from here. I've been wanting to go. I drove up here twice, like, with the intentions of visiting my mom and my wife who was staying here, and then wound up, what am I saying to you? Oh, I was like, oh, I'll go over there too. And it was closed because it's got really weird hours. It's like Thursday to Monday, but very short hours. And then the next time I went, they were like, sorry, we're out of town, but we didn't update our Facebook page. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to go there. I think that I'm going to be making some very small batches, like I'd like to pick up a stone and make something, and then list it for sale, and then pick up another stone and make something until I can get moved and settled in and have an art space, so that at least there's some things going on. I'm feeling the creative juices a little bit, and painting can get messy, and this is not my house, and also it requires more tools. So I'm thinking a little bit of wire, a little bit of natural earth stone, and we can see what we can make. I will of course share it with you guys and on my Instagram. I just reactivated my Instagram for my jewelry, which is Sagittarian Designs on, and I have a Facebook page if you're interested. But that's what I have going on. So here's the clips and the photos from the days of moving until now. I will talk to you guys later.
So nothing. Go sit down. Oh! Terrible. That's shameful. Say shame on you, T-boy. Hey, now You be nice to them. They know what they're talking about.
Huh.
I'm not impressed with your acting at all. You only know how to act bad, huh?
Hey, I was just acting. I wasn't really mad.
Yeah.